Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Coding While Black with Dr. Kai Dupuy. I'm coming at you guys this morning from my hotel room in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'll be for the rest of the week attending a developer conference. And as I was thinking about this morning, it made me consider one of the things that is very important on this journey to become or be or remain a successful software developer, and that is this concept of lifelong learning, this concept of always working on your skills, always getting better, always keeping up with what's new. There is no possible way for you to have longevity in this field without keeping up with technology. As a technologist for over 30 years, what I learned in college, what I learned in my first couple of jobs, how things were being done, what tools were out there, what languages I programmed in, has drastically changed over the course of 30 years. If I was still only competent in the technologies and the languages and the knowledge that I had when I came out in 1987, I'd be unemployed, and I would have been for a very long time. So over the years, I've had to learn all kinds of different technologies. Just to give you an example, as a college student, I studied languages like Fortran, COBOL, Snowball, APL, and many different others, Clipper, and they were all based in DOS. Well, they were all based on mainframe in college. And when I came out of college, mostly DOS. So when I came out of college, I was really ill-equipped to walk right into a programming shop and work. I had to actually come in and learn about the PC. I had to actually come in and learn about DOS, which was the dominant operating system at that time. I had to learn DOS command lines. I had to learn languages that were available to program in DOS, such as C. So even though I had graduated college, I was not prepared. I was not ready to be productive in a development shop. So I immediately started learning, and that became something that I've been doing for the bulk of my career. Went to the bookstore. At that time, we still had bookstores like, it wasn't Barnes & Nobles, it was like B. Dalton bookstores. And I went on and got me a book on C, the Kernighan and Ritchie Classic. Picked up a couple of books on DOS, mastered DOS, learned C very quickly, became proficient, and since that day forward, been doing that ever since. So here I am, 30 years in. I'm flying out to Vegas this weekend, and of course, I'm learning all the way. So I have a flight that I took out here that was 2.5 hours flight. That's an opportunity for me to learn. So it's an opportunity for me to consume some knowledge. So my role right now is as a technical trainer, which includes building demonstrations. I teach development courses, so I still have to be up on development. In my development courses, we teach from languages like Java, Python, C#. Now, I'm pretty knowledgeable about C#, but not so much with Python. So one of the things I've been doing for the last 6 months is learning Python, right? Not a huge fan of Python, but Python is very prominent. It's everywhere. It's very useful in this era of cloud computing that we're embarking upon right now. And so it behooves me to get some knowledge in this area. So I read the last couple of books on Python. The very first one I started off was a very simple book, and I was attracted to it because I was also teaching my kids how to write code. And so this one was called Python for Kids. I read that one, and now I'm reading one called Python, How to Think Like a Computer Scientist. So I spent the first 2 hours of my flight coming out here from Seattle continuing that, studying, right? Writing some little code snippets, reading as well. I also spent some time, I got in yesterday about 5 o'clock, and I decided to learn something about DevOps, right? So I teach DevOps as well. DevOps is an area where, for the most of my career, I suffered through the heartache and pain of shops not being developer ops oriented. So a lot of the maladies that DevOps proclaims to help us solve or cure, I lived through those. So I'm a very big proponent, very big fan of DevOps. And one of the best books I've read on DevOps is a book called The Phoenix Project. So I spent a couple hours yesterday, because I'm going to teach DevOps next week, kind of coding over the Phoenix Project book to refresh myself on some of the themes, some of the stories that are in that book. It's a novel about DevOps, and it's really, really a good book and a powerful book. And as well, I'm also reading this one called the Devops Handbook. I've read this book a couple times. Again, I'm refreshing myself to stay on point. So as a technologist, particularly as a software developer, something that you want to do all the time case in point, I'm here at a conference, right? Is you want to continue to learn. You also want to learn from the perspective of you're responsible for your learning. So if your company doesn't provide training, your company doesn't allow you to purchase books, attend seminars, attend workshops, take classes online, places like Pluralsight, places like Code Academy, Udemy, Udacity. Get yourself a subscription to the Cloud Academy. Get yourself a subscription to the Linux Academy. Pay for it yourself. Learn to invest in yourself. I'll never forget when I came out of college and I got my first job. I was very excited, making more money than I've ever made in my life, more money than my family had ever made. And I was a little bit unhappy of the fact that I was not prepared. All this money I spent to get a degree, all this time and work, and this, make no mistake, having a bachelor's degree, a master's degree, a doctorate, that's a time investment, that's a money investment, and you should be expecting to reap the benefits of that when you complete these rigorous programs. And so when I came out of college and was not prepared, I was upset about that. And so having to go to the bookstore and buy more, pay more money, I never forget I was buying this book on DOS, and the book cost like $40. And my girlfriend at the time said to me, because she saw my face and she started hearing me complain about it. I was like, man, I don't want to spend $40 for no book. And she said to me at that time, your job is paying you $22,000 a year. This is 1987, coming right out of college. I think you can spend $40 to learn about it and become good at it. And that's been something that I have taken to heart, and I never forgot that moment. And since then, I'm an avid person who studies these technologies, reads, takes classes, spends the money, invests in myself. Anytime I have a spare moment, you best believe I'm going to be learning something. And something that helps me on my job, something that helps me to hone my craft, something that helps me to get better at my craft. So just want to take a few minutes this morning. I'll be dropping some other videos later this week as I learn things at the conference. Other videos about what I think is important in terms of this journey of coding while black, ways to help you. But this is certainly something that I've been carrying with me for a long time, as far as wanting to let folks know. If you don't have the stomach, or you don't have the desire or the heart to keep up, to maintain, to have the ambition to be constantly learning, it doesn't matter what you learn, a year from now to 5 years from now, that may be obsolete and you may have to move on to the next thing. So if this is not something that excites you, that you have passion about learning, this position as a software developer might not be for you. So again, lifelong learning, always be learning, always honing your skills, keep your skills high, keep your awareness of the new technology, what's coming next, at the forefront of your thought process. So once again, I'm Dr. Kai Dupuy, and this is the second edition of Coding While Black. I'll see you guys soon.